Akari tells Takaki-kun that cherry blossoms are said to fall at a speed of 5 centimeters per second. She then runs off, with Takaki-kun chasing after her. However, he's stopped by the barrier gate signaling an approaching train. As she says her goodbyes, she expresses her wish to watch the cherry blossoms again with him next year. Akari writes a letter to her friend expressing how much she misses Tokyo's summer and the memories they shared. She also asks if he still remembers her. As he reads one of the letters, Sempai approaches and teases him, suggesting it's a love letter. He denies it, and then she asks if he's transferring schools. He explains that he'll be moving with his parents to Kagoshima. Through a letter, Akari expresses her surprise at his school transfer decision, aware that the new place is so far away. It's no longer somewhere she can easily visit by train, which makes her feel lonely. They agree to meet on the 4th of March, marking 1 year since their last meeting. In her letter, she mentions a cherry tree near her house and hopes that he will bring spring with him. That day, the rain turns into snow, and she asks him to be careful on his way. She advises him that she'll be waiting for him at the train station at 7. Their story begins 1 year after Takaki transfers to a school in Tokyo, and Akari joins his class. They become good friends and start spending time together. Despite other students bullying or teasing them for how much time they spend together, they stand up for each other. It's his first time going to Shinjuku Station alone, and every train ride is new to him. Takaki feels nervous about seeing Akari again. He remembers the night she called him, revealing that she will be transferring from school, and the sadness in her voice. With the snow causing train delays, Takaki becomes even more anxious. Later, the train stops at Nagi Station due to the worsening conditions. It's already 7 p.m. and he's still on the road. When he finally arrives at the next station, he's determined to reach the one where she is waiting. However, as he stands near the vending machine and prepares to get money from his pocket, the letter he wrote for Akari slips out and is carried away by the wind. This incident brings tears to his eyes. On the next train ride, the train stops for 2 hours. By the time he finally reaches his destination, he gasps when he sees her sitting on a chair. He approaches her and calls out her name. When she sees him, she's surprised, then lowers her head and starts to cry. They sit together and begin to eat. After leaving the station, they walk to the cherry tree she mentioned in her letter. They lean into each other, and their lips meet. This makes Takaki both feel happy and sad, as he knows the future holds uncertainties for them. After they break the kiss, they hug each other tightly. They spend the night in a small shack by a field, wrapped in one blanket, talking until they fall asleep. The next day, they part ways as he takes the train home, promising to write letters to each other. Takaki-kun is playing archery when Sumida greets him. He asks if she went to the beach and praises her hard work, making her blush and excuse herself. Later, in her class, Sumida daydreams about their encounter. Her friends suggest he may have left his girlfriend back in Tokyo. As Sumida is about to head home, she runs into him again at the bike shed, and he suggests they ride home together. Each of them takes their own bike. She remembers the day he transferred to her school and reflects on how he's different from the other boys. She fell in love with him that day. Once, while they're at the market, he excuses himself, saying he'll wait outside. After finishing her shopping, she goes outside and sees him on his phone in the dark, with a far-away look on his face. Every time she sees this, she wishes he were texting her instead. When they reach her house, she's greeted by her excited dog, Kabu. Once he knows she is safe, Takaki-kun leaves. At school, she is called into the principal's office because she hasn't filled out the forms for the colleges she wants to attend. Later, as she tries to surf, the waves keep dragging her down. On her way home, she spots his motorcycle by the field and decides to find him. She finds him sitting on the grass, texting on his phone again, which upsets her. She approaches and sits beside him. They talk about college, and he mentions that he's applied to some schools in Tokyo. When he asks her about her plans, she explains that she can barely think beyond tomorrow. She uses a piece of school paper to make a paper airplane and sends it flying into the wind. Later, as they ride their bikes, a truck passes by, impressing Takaki. Sumida explains that it travels at 5 kilometers per hour. At home, Takaki wonders when he will stop the habit of texting with no one in mind. In fact, he has been texting Akari, but never pressing the send button, unable to face her for some reason. On the day she finally manages to ride the waves, Sumida decides to confess her feelings to him. After their usual small shopping at the market, she walks behind him, pinches his shirt to get his attention. And when he asks what's wrong, she blushingly says, "It's nothing." When they get on their bikes, hers won't start. He suggests leaving her bike there for someone from her family to pick it up later and walking home together instead. As they walk, Sumida trails behind him and starts to cry, which worries him. She hides her face with her hands. In the distance behind them, they hear a loud noise, and their attention is drawn to a rocket launching into the sky, momentarily distracting them. Later, Sumida cries at the thought of Takaki. Years later, in Tokyo, Takaki crosses the railway and catches a glimpse of a girl from the corner of his eye, leaving him in shock. The barriers come down, and when he looks back, the passing train blocks his view. At the train station, Akari stands with her parents, discussing wedding details. On the train, she reflects on a letter she recently found from Takaki, the last one they exchanged. Takaki, meanwhile, receives an email from the girl he has loved for years, who tells him she loves him too. Despite their exchanges, he feels sad, knowing their hearts haven't moved any closer. Both of them reminisce about the times when they were 13 and hope to see the cherry blossoms together again someday. Thanks for watching this anime recap of an awesome movie that really shows us what can happen in life without the bells and whistles, the explosions, and all the special effects. Is this a happy ending or not? You tell me in the comments below. And, as always, remember to subscribe, press that notification bell so you know when the next anime recap has come out, and have a great day. Bye.